with technology evolving so quickly, people are expecting personalized recommendations, right? So, okay, you bought some shirts, right? So some category of products. So here are some other recommendations based on you bought this, here are other recommendations, right? So that's recommendation based on product categories. But today with AI, you can hyper personalize, right? Based on every single product they viewed, purchased, or showed interest in, you can go and specify, based on your interaction with the products on our e-commerce website, here are the 10 products that we strongly believe would really help you. That would definitely impress customers, in my opinion.
Welcome to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast, the highly rated digital marketing podcast that provides weekly digital marketing tips and strategies from some of the world's top digital marketers and e-commerce entrepreneurs that will help you take your digital marketing to the next level. Sit back and enjoy this power-packed episode hosted by Arlen Robinson, who is an e-commerce entrepreneur and digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. Are you looking to increase traffic and sales to your website? You can do this by launching your own affiliate program. Just visit getosi.com and sign up for a free trial today. That's getosi.com. Now get ready to hear from your e-commerce marketing expert of the week as they drill down to give you details on marketing strategies that can help grow your business.
Welcome back to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast, everyone. My name is Arlen, and I am your host. And today we have a very special guest, Praveen Narra, who is the visionary founder and CEO of Tech.us, who also boasts an illustrious career spanning over 25 years in the tech industry. His expertise shines through in the successful execution of over 1,350 plus AI, SaaS, and mobile projects, each a testament to his strategic acumen and dedication to client satisfaction. Welcome to the podcast, Praveen.
Thank you for having me, Arlen. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yes, and thank you for joining us today. Really, really excited to talk to you. As I was mentioning before we got recording today, you're kind of in an area that's kind of super hot. It's kind of sizzling right now, and you're dealing with AI specifically. And we're going to be, today talking about how an e-commerce company and any company, but specifically e-commerce companies, can use AI effectively to provide tangible results rather than just a buzzword boosts and saying that they have an AI component or saying that we use AI in some form or fashion in the development of our products. So a lot of companies are just kind of just throwing it in there just because it's a big buzzword and they think they can get more sales, get more views, and kind of be in on with the crowd. But you're going to tell us a little bit more about how you can really uncover some true value with AI and all of this quickly advancing technology. So I'm definitely excited to dig deep into that. But before we do get into all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your background and specifically how you got into what you're doing today?
Absolutely. So my journey with technology started way back in college, over 30 years ago. Makes me feel old. So I actually took a couple of courses related to AI called pattern recognition and image processing, which laid out the groundwork for my passion for AI. Back then, AI was still in its early stages. People were not really using the word AI as much compared to the real ingredients that made the AI possible in those days, like pattern recognition and image processing, etc. Mm-hmm. And I grew passion for coding as well. So I became a coder. And after graduating from Birla Institute of Technology and Science in Pilani in India, I embarked on a career that allowed me to explore intersection of technology and business. I worked with giants like Microsoft and Dillard's departmental stores and gained valuable insights in how technology can transform operations and create value for businesses and people. And my passion for technology, especially AI, grew stronger over the years, witnessing firsthand how AI could solve real world problems and enhance efficiencies, fuel my desire to start tech.us. We've been in business for over 24 years now, completing over 1,400 projects. We served clients like NBC Sports, NBC Universal, Synopsys, and Tony Robbins, to name a few. But for last 7 to 8 years, AI has been at the heart of what we do. And I would say it's been incredibly rewarding to see our work with tangible results for clients.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, so it definitely sounds like you you guys aren't newcomers to the game. You've been involved in AI, like you said, from a very very long time ago, before AI was even a thing. And yeah, it's good to know that you're utilizing it with some really major players in a variety of different industries. You mentioned NBC Sports, you mentioned Dillard's Department Store, and those are definitely some big companies and big organizations. And so, yeah, really good to see that you guys have been able to really stay abreast of this technology and really see the value in it, not only for the companies that you work with, but for your company. And that's kind of what's going to lead me to my first question: is if you could share a specific example of how tech.us has used AI specifically internally to provide tangible value results to your customers over a time period.
Sure. So we use AI in a variety of ways. One of which is we look at how AI can actually help us write better code. So our team uses AI to write test cases. So once our team writes the code, they use AI to figure out, okay, what are all the different test cases that we can test this code with? And AI is doing a pretty good job with that. There are also areas where we are exploring where we can use AI to upgrade the software to a newer version of the, whether it's the new operating system that comes out or whether it's a new version of the programming language. But when it comes to customers, I can take one example where we were able to actually add significant value to a client. I know there are really great projects that we did for large companies. For example, we built a mini chatbot for a multi-billion-dollar healthcare company more than 5 years ago. So there's some large projects, but I want to take a very small company that you would think is a non-tech company, but we used AI to improve their business. The example is a construction material recycling yard. You would think that it's not an industry typically associated with high-tech solutions, right? But that's where we thrive, finding innovative ways to apply AI in unexpected places. So this construction yard, their business model relied on efficient throughput of trucks carrying waste materials through their yard. So their initial process was a lot manual and time consuming, with staff physically interacting with the truck drivers to gather and validate information. That created bottlenecks and inefficiencies in their business. And the way they make more money is the more trucks passing through the yard. So this became a bottleneck. And we developed an AI-powered iPad app that automated the entire truck verification process. By simply taking a photo of the incoming truck, the app used AI to read the license plate, instantly verifying the client details, account status, payment methods, etc. That streamlined the operations and allowed more trucks to pass through each day, directly impacting their top line and the bottom line. And so this is just one example of how you can prioritize tangible value over buzz, right? We focus on solving real world problems and delivering measurable results for our clients. And it's interesting to note that over 60% of retailers in e-commerce industry plan to adopt AI technologies next year, not just for buzz, but to enhance in-store and online experiences.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, there's some key things there that I want to highlight for sure as far as what you guys do internally. I'm very familiar with ChatGPT AI. Our developers internally here at OSI Affiliate Software utilize it to help troubleshoot code, to help develop code snippets of different things that they're trying to do, create functions. And so we're very familiar with that. But yeah, the first time I heard about using it to create test cases, which definitely is something that can be, I'm sure it can do a great job with it, because as anyone knows, with coding, once something is developed, that's, the test part of it is very crucial to be able to uncover, any bugs that exist, and making sure you cover at least most of those significant case studies. Of course, as everyone knows, with testing, a lot of things aren't usually fully uncovered until the product is released to the public, or at least a small subset of your a company or organizations that are going to be using the product. But before that, yes, test casing is very important. And yeah, very interesting that you mentioned the use case there with that client of yours, the company reading the trucks and things like that. It just it really just amazing what you can do with it. And I think what I always see every day, because I follow a lot of these news outlets on YouTube that are following kind of all of the latest AI innovations and technologies. And it's just like every week I'm seeing a different use case. And that's what's really always interesting, because the possibilities are just really, I think, endless. I mean, when you think about different use cases, it's always, you always see these kind of unique examples of someone implementing it. You're like, I never thought of that, but yeah, that's an awesome way to utilize it. So yeah, really, really good to know that it's, so much that you can do with it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I can add one point to that, what you said,
Sure.
It is true that there are some issues that may not be easy to identify until the rubber meets the road, meaning
Right.
the software gets released to the real people. But with proper proactive planning and writing test cases, you can actually significantly reduce the number of issues that exist in the production release, right? So
True.
we
Very true.
follow 4 levels. Our developers do unit testing, and then they move the software once they're satisfied to a QA environment, where the testers in our company actually test the software. And once they're satisfied, and their goal, the QA people's goal, is to break the code, right? Internally, try everything you can to break the code. And they're supposed to be friendly to the developers, but not necessarily nice to the developers in terms of not identifying the bugs, right? The more bugs they identify, the more bugs our developers are able to fix at that stage. And once that is done, we move it to staging, where sometimes we actually test it with real customer data. And that's really important. When you test your software with real data that the real customers are going to experience, you can identify stuff that cannot be identified in staging. And then once you're completely satisfied, then it goes to the production. So I think there are ways you can use some processes to reduce number of bugs that go into the production release. So that's one comment.
Okay.
The other comment I wanted to add, you mentioned about using AI to write code, which is great, right? The AI is becoming better and better at being able to write code. So there are some people who expect AI to build a whole software. My recommendation to those people is to be careful about how you use to write code. It is okay at this point to write small functions like you suggested, right? Small module that doesn't necessarily interact with other modules. AI is getting really good at. Not perfect, but getting really good at. But when you're building a complex software where one module interacts with multiple other modules, AI is not really good at that yet. So definitely continue using good coders. And there's a joke in our community. Before AI, people used to write code for 2 hours and test it for 6 hours in their 8-hour workday. But now with AI, they write code in 10 minutes and test it for 24 hours.
Right. Yes,
Because
exactly.
identifying the bugs in AI written code, it's really hard. So you end up spending a lot more time because it's also not your code, right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
almost like debugging somebody else's code. So just
Yes.
something to be cautious about.
Yes, that's very true. Great feedback as well on kind of this where AI is at least the way it is right now. Now, 5 years from now, it could be a different story, of course. But I think, like you said, with it's fine to develop these, functions or modules. But I think the issue with AI is everything with a lot of these software solutions. There's so many things that talk together. Let's say on an e-commerce level, if you're talking about something that's tying in, let's say, payment systems, you're tying in product information, inventory, all of these different things have to talk to each other. Marketing lists, omni-channel marketing information, all of this stuff. It AI doesn't usually, I mean, you can provide as much background information as you possibly can when you're asking it to code certain things, but it doesn't know the full scope of your whole system. I don't think it's right now. There's no way for it to really know that. I mean, you can try to break it down step by step and how everything is fitting together, but it still doesn't fully grasp that. That's why, like you said, you have to be careful if you're trying to get it to develop a whole system. So yeah, very, very important comment there. Now, bringing this conversation into e-commerce businesses, specifically e-commerce businesses that have founders or marketing people and their staff that they're not tech savvy. On our end and your end, we've been in technology for 25 plus years, as we both have mentioned, and and so we're very familiar with it. We have developers that we're working with. We're developers, we have a development background. I do. I know you do have as well. And so we're very familiar with this technology and all of this fits together. But the average e-commerce business owner, they may not be tech savvy. They don't know anything about code and they're just trying to grasp all of this. And so let's say we're imagining this small e-commerce business. They're looking to somehow integrate AI into what they're doing, their workflow, their website, their platform. What would you say would be the top 3 recommendations for them to ensure they really get the best value of AI? Granted, they're somewhat maybe limited knowledge of technology.
Yeah, a great question. So I would say first and foremost, start with the customer in mind, right?
Okay.
Many times people start with AI, just because it's a buzzword, I want to build some AI. No, start with the customer first and begin by identifying your customers' pain points and their desires. Look for areas where AI can create or enhance their experiences, whether it's personalized recommendations or streamlined checkout process or improved customer experience, right? So that's number one, starting with the customer. And number two is to prioritize the low-hanging fruit. I often see people trying to do something like really big, and miss out on the low-hanging fruit, right? So don't try to do everything at once. Focus on AI applications that are relatively easy to implement and can deliver quick wins. This could be something as simple as using a chatbot for customer support or implementing a basic recommendation engine. And third, I would say data is the key. Uh, I would encourage people to ensure they have clean data and well organized data that AI thrives on. Because having solid data is the foundation for AI to be successful. Consider investing in data that you can collect from your existing systems and analyzing that to maximize the value that AI initiatives can deliver to you. Because they say in AI world, garbage in, garbage out. So if your data that you feed into an AI is not good quality data, you're not going to end up getting good quality results.
Yes, very, very true. Yeah, those are some awesome points, and yeah, it really makes sense. And to the data aspect of it, i- it's like you said, garbage in, garbage out. And then with AI, it thrives on data, and you have to have that right data in order to get the correct results. Because, like you said, yeah, if your information that you're putting in is skewed, is obviously you're going to get some skewed results there. So I think that's kind of should be number one before moving into it. And then, like you said, approaching it with the customer in mind. Don't just implement AI for the sake of it because it's a buzzword, because everybody's implementing an AI solution, but look at what are some of the needs of your customer, what would add the most value to them. So I think that should be definitely forefront of it. Now, there, of course, also are many pitfalls that companies face, when implementing AI. I'm sure you've faced some companies you've worked with have faced these different pitfalls. What are some of them, and how can they be avoided to ensure that you have an effective AI strategy?
That's a great point. So um, I would say I've found a few common pitfalls that I observe while working with our customers. One is unrealistic expectations, right? Some companies expect AI to be the magic pill that solves all their problems overnight, right?
Right.
That's not going to happen. It's important to set realistic expectations and understand that AI is a journey and not a destination. Number two, lack of expertise. AI requires specialized skills. Many companies lack the in-house expertise necessary to implement and maintain AI solutions effectively. So I would encourage them to consider partnering with AI experts or consultants to bridge that gap. And data challenges, like we spoke about, right? Poor data quality and insufficient data provide poor AI results, right? Invest in data infrastructure and ensure that you have clean data, reliable data, and the data that is easily accessible to be used in applications. So I would say start small, right? Begin with a pilot project and test the waters, gain some experience before scaling up and investing a lot of money. And definitely collaborate with with other experts, partner with AI professionals who can guide you through the implementation process and provide ongoing support and invest in data.
Great, great. Yeah, very, very true. And those are all things I think every brand that's thinking about doing it really needs to consider. Praveen, as we get ready to wrap things up, with marketing, of course, the saying goes, if you can't track it, if you don't track it, you might as well not even be doing it as far as a marketing strategy is concerned. And so I think the same, of course, is going to ring true with any AI type of implementation, any of that is concerned. What metrics or KPIs do you see specifically at tech.us that you guys use to measure the success and the value of your AI projects?
Yeah, great question. So at TechData, we measure the success of AI projects using a few different metrics that are tailored to the specific goals of each project. They may be different from project to project, but I can give you an overall what the different categories of the goals are. I would say first and foremost, it has to be the return on investment, whether it's direct cash coming in, it's number of customers you're gaining, it's the pipeline that you're building, it's the amount of upsells and cross sells you can make down the road, whatever it is that is tied to the ROI. That's number one. And number two, in some cases, it's the efficiency gains, right? How can you see how much time and effort it's taking to achieve certain goal in your business? And by implementing a technology, whether it's AI or something else, how have you reduced the processing times or increased the throughput, right? That would vary depending on which industry you're working on. But at the end of the day, there are multiple efficiency metrics that you can have. And the third one I would say is customer satisfaction. I would say ROI and customer satisfaction are the most important in any business. You are generating enough revenue for the business while making sure that your customers are fully satisfied. They want to come back to you again and again, want to do business with you again and again. And then you have a great business. And so those three, I would say, are really important. Now, when it comes to the technology aspect of things, we look at the accuracy and performance of the AI models. So we look at what is the accuracy levels of AI. In some of our AI models, we were able to achieve accuracy levels of up to 99%, which is incredibly good.
Wow.
This is
Yes.
often far superior to what humans are able to achieve with manual work in similar areas or with traditional business rules-based software. So those are the key metrics that I would focus on in any business.
Okay, great. Yes. Customer satisfaction definitely very key, especially with e-commerce businesses, because the bottom line is most e-commerce businesses, they part of their strategy, of course, is going to be the getting repeat customers, getting people, of course, there's certain items that are e-commerce service via e-commerce businesses that are more, I wouldn't say one-off purchases, but some things that you don't purchase on an ongoing basis. But I think most e-commerce businesses are where people are selling direct to consumer consumable type of products, whether it's clothing, whether it's foods, whether it's let's say electronic products. These things all don't last for a while, and so you're definitely looking for those same customers that you've already serviced to come back, and so the satisfaction, I think, is key. And so whatever you're doing, whether it's like you said previously, if you're implementing some chat bots with the customer support, things to help customers get answers to questions or just general billing inquiries, if you're doing that good, then people will have had a positive experience with your company, and then they'll think about coming back. But if you've implemented things wrong and you don't do things right with your AI implementation, and you kind of drop the ball, so to speak, then people, your customers, they're going to have a bad taste in your mouth, and they're going to think twice about coming in back to your brand. So yeah, it's definitely very important that you measure those types of metrics whenever you're coming out and you're laying out a new solution with AI. So
You're absolutely right, Arlen. So here is an interesting question for the listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
If every customer who ever did business with you came back and bought the products that you sell only from you instead of your competitors or Amazon,
right. Mm-hmm.
how much revenue would you have today? Right? Just
Right.
think about that for a minute. For a lot of customers, it's going to be a lot more money than they would love to have this year, right?
Right.
And
For
the
sure.
reason people don't come back is because they're not getting, they're not satisfied enough. Whether it's
Yes.
the delivery time, the range of products, or the recommendations you have. So one of the products that we have built in our company is an AI-powered recommendation engine for e-commerce businesses. And we have built this highly adaptable solution that caters to a diverse e-commerce industries. It supports over 35 unique recommendation recipes, as we call it, seamlessly by integrating with popular platforms like WooCommerce, Magento, and Shopify. So if you go to Amazon, for example, one of the reasons Amazon is so successful is because they're able to understand the customer so well so that they can predict what the customer is going to like. So
Yes.
You would find all kinds of recommendations, right? For example, people who viewed this product also viewed these other products. People who bought these products bought these other products. And you will see recommendations on the product page, the checkout page, the thank you page. Like there's so many areas. So
Yes.
we consolidated them to 35 different unique recommendations that people can implement. And I'd be happy to, if anybody has $10 million to $100 million revenue e-commerce business, I'd be happy to have them walk through our AI recommendation engine to see what they can do to improve their top line and bottom line.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that offering. Yeah, that's it sounds like a powerful tool for sure, because you're right. If you're looking at Amazon as a model to model your e-commerce business after, they're definitely ones that know how powerful those recommendations are, because
Exactly.
I can testify to the fact that I've been bombarded by their recommendations many times, and I've purchased products based on those recommendations. And yeah, they really get it down, and they cover it, like you said, in so many areas. The checkout page, the cart, um, showing you all of these possible recommendations. So if what you purchased or put in your cart at that point, you're still on the fence, they've got some other products already listed there that you could consider if you're hesitating to pull the trigger. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's some powerful stuff.
You're absolutely right. And with technology evolving so quickly, people are expecting personalized recommendations, right?
Yes.
So you may have seen people sending email blasts with, here are top products, in an email blast, right? The same email goes to every person in their email list. People don't like that anymore, right? So a step up from that is to come up with, okay, you bought some shirts, right? So some category of products. So here are some other recommendations based on, if you bought this, here are other recommendations, right? So that's recommendation based on product categories. But today with AI, you can hyper personalize, right? Based on every single product they viewed, purchased, or showed interest in, you can go and specify, based on your interaction with the products on our e-commerce website, here are the 10 products that we strongly believe would really help you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That would definitely impress customers, in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah, that's some powerful stuff. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing that, Praveen. That sounds really like some cool tools, and I definitely encourage any business that's kind of in that category that you mentioned, 10 million to up to 100 million in revenue, to kind of reach out to you and see how that recommendation engine can meet their needs. Well, this has been an awesome conversation, Praveen. I can definitely go on and talk to you more and more about this AI. It's something that I'm into every day. I'm looking at the latest innovations and trying to see how we can implement it internally in our company and just what others are doing. So it's really an exciting time. And so thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge about it. And lastly, before we do let you go, I always like to shift gears just so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. If you don't mind sharing one closing fun fact about yourself that you think we'd be interested to know.
Well, Arlen, I'm a passionate world traveler. I love exploring different parts of the world and different places and cultures. I traveled to over 40 countries so far.
Wow.
My goal is to travel to over 100 countries.
Okay.
I did a mini world trip for 3 months where we touched 2 to 3 countries per continent. Didn't go to Antarctica. They didn't guarantee that I would step foot on Antarctica. They said weather permitting, and I didn't want to do that. But other than that, yeah, I love travel. Like, it just makes me so happy being in nature.
Yes. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. I love traveling as well. You've definitely got me beat by quite a few countries. I got to catch up to you with the 40 countries. And yeah, I would definitely love to do a lot more traveling because you learn so much when you leave your surroundings and you experience other cultures, other languages, other businesses. Actually, you learn a lot how business is done in other countries because it is different. Things that are done in business here in the US is different than, other countries, whether it's India or, South Africa. Things are different, and you can kind of pick up things that, may not be custom to where you are, but can definitely help your business by just going and seeing how things are done there. So good stuff. And thank you for sharing that. Lastly, before we do let you go, if our listeners and viewers want to reach out to you and pick your brain any more about how they can utilize AI effectively for their e-commerce brand, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, the best way for them to reach me is through our website, tech.us. You can contact us from there. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn by searching for Praveen Narra, tech.us. I'm always happy to connect with people who are enthusiastic about technology and AI. I do have a special offer, like I mentioned to you, to your audience. If somebody is in that range of $10 to $100 million revenue, I'm happy to offer them a free consultation if they can mention if they can send an email to info@tech.us and mention e-commerce AI recommendation as part of the subject line. I'd be happy to chat with them and see how we can help them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that offering. For sure, we'll be sure to have the website address, of course, in the show notes where people can reach out to you and your team and see how you can help their business. Okay, Praveen, this has been a great conversation. Once again, I really learned a lot, and we really appreciate you coming on the E-commerce Marketing Podcast.
Arlen, it's all my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. Are you looking to take your digital marketing to the next level but are tired of weeding through countless YouTube videos with unproven and untrusted marketing strategies? Well, we have the answer for you. The More Sales Every Month online digital marketing course. In this information-packed course, you will learn effective keyword research, link building, content marketing, and much more to attract and convert your site visitors into paying customers. Just go to moresaleseverymonth.com and sign up today for a low one-time fee. In addition to this power-packed course, if you would like to get access to a growing repository of digital marketing articles, PDFs, and ebooks, check out getosi.com/resources and opt in to get full access to our library of priceless marketing information to help you take your digital marketing to the next level.